Now it's time to set the goals for the next cycle of inflation. This way, you're always moving forward, growing, making money, not losing it. Imagine, have more freedom and more fun. Start a gold IRA with Noble Gold now and fight inflation. And this month, for every IRA above $20K, you'll get an incredible 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin completely free as a thank you. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call 877-646-5347 now to find out more or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing and doing all these beautiful things, and also following us on the other platforms. Just not too long ago, actually by the time this airs, it will probably be 2 days ago, the emperor from China to Canada, so the Chinese emperor to Canada, Justin Trudeau, announced in a glorious ceremony that Canada is introducing a bill to basically ban all handguns. Just flat out ban all handguns. And if you want to get a little bit of a feel of how this message was delivered, and if you pay attention to the details, to the minions in the back and the masks and the theatrics of it all, then the word Chinese emperor might really come to mind. So, just check out the clip here.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. In other words, we're capping the market for handguns. As a further part of this new legislation, we're also fighting gun smuggling and trafficking by increasing maximum criminal penalties and providing more tools for law enforcement to investigate firearm crimes. And we'll require the permanent alteration of long gun magazines so they can never hold more than 5 rounds. These are actions that doctors, experts, and chiefs of police have been calling for years, and we're acting on their advice. I also want to thank the advocates, many of whom are here today, for your tireless efforts. I know that for too many of you, grief and loss are at the root of the work that you do. I want to recognize that, and on behalf of all Canadians, I want to thank you for your strength.
It isn't very surprising if you've been following the actions, the words of the young global leader, Justin Trudeau, who's an alumni of the Young Global Leaders Academy of the World Economic Forum, then if you've been following him, then this doesn't come as a surprise. Now, what we're really curious to see is how the people of Canada will react to this, because it is absolute insanity. And of course, the Chinese emperor to the United States, Joe Biden, here has come out on Memorial Day and basically said that neither the Constitution nor the Second Amendment are absolute. Whatever that means in his word, has come out with a lot of false facts again about what the Second Amendment means, and basically continue to prime the public for a similar move as we're now seeing in Canada. Now, why is this so important? Why are we even talking about guns? Shouldn't we talk about peace and love and harmony? Yes, and yes, that is all true. But here I'm asking you, isn't it the most senseless thing to look at someone else's crime and punish you for their crime? Isn't that a principle of a just and a civilized society, that someone who didn't commit a crime cannot be punished for the crime someone else committed? I mean, that's just logical. If your neighbor is drunk driving and kills someone, then should you be stripped of your driver's license and have your car towed and taken away from you? No, that makes no sense whatsoever. And yet every time something like this happens, the very wonderful emperors of China come out, these politicians, and they say, hey, we need to take away everyone's rights. We need to take away everyone's guns. Well, first of all, Let's make one thing clear. The rights are not yours to take away to begin with, because they don't belong to you. They belong to the people. Always have, always will. So you don't have the right to take a right away. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't even be in a place that's even close to a public office. But really, this gives us another opportunity to discover what true sovereignty really means, and this is what the subject really is about. What they're doing is, and because they're forcing this agenda on people, this 2030 agenda, they're now on a strict timeline. Klaus Schwab said it just at the annual meeting in Davos of the World Economic Forum. He said, we're running out of time. Well, what are you running out of, Klaus? What time are you talking about? Why are you running out of time, and what's the deadline here? Well, the deadline is 2030, and for various reasons that we've talked about and covered, they have this deadline. Now, there's only speculation as to why this is really so important. People say there's a solar event coming up that year. People talk about the timelines of the future. We have talked about this a lot. So there are various factors that come into play here, but basically they are on a tight schedule to bring about a completely AI-controlled central dictatorship. So it's no surprise that guys like Justin Trudeau have come out in the past and have actually talked very favorably about China and dictatorship and how autocracies are actually amazing. I mean, Xi Jinping, the Chinese emperor, the real emperor, the dictator of the Chinese Communist Party, has said that autocracies are the future, not democracies. Now, I would agree that democracies, the way we have them now, mob rule, is not the future, but autocracy most definitely isn't either. I would say that a actual form of self-governance, which people wrongfully call anarchy, self-governance is actually the future. Small communities, circles of elders, circles of wisdom. I believe this is the future of a peaceful and a abundant and a prosperous nation, and smaller nations and towns and cities and villages. So it is important for us to truly realize who we are and to not take back our power, but stand in our power. There's nothing to take back. We have to stand in our power. I encourage all people to really open your heart, open your minds, and see what is happening here. This is a full-on takeover. There's no nation in the world today that's better off because it's been stripped of its guns. Every nation that does it sooner or later turns into a full-on autocracy. As people who grew up in Europe, we can actually speak to that. And people don't see it in Europe as much anymore because it's like being a frog in water that's slowly heated up. You don't realize it, but Europe has turned into a very autocratic society with strict regulations and rules and a very tight grip on the population. Now, they will say it's not like that, but because we have lived in different parts of the world, we can tell you it is exactly like that. Of course, what is the first thing emperors always do when they want to be dictators? That's the first thing they always do. They take the rights away from the people. They take their guns, take their arms. And I'm asking you one more time, why would you allow that? Why would you not give yourself permission for something, but give that permission to someone else? It just doesn't make sense. We truly need to step into our power and live up to our sovereignty, discover what this world really means, and begin thinking with our own brains, with our own minds, and of course, also take inspired action. I have no idea what clueless people like the ones we've been talking about in this video have even remotely to do with positions of power. These are not wise people, not smart people. These are not wise elders. These are opportunistic, corrupt people with a moral compass that is so out of whack that they wouldn't, I don't even want to go into all the comparisons I have for it. What I'm asking you to do is actually search your heart and find the courage that it will require of you to live through the times and thrive through the times and take inspired action through the times that are coming. Because as you can see, this autocratic behavior is only accelerating, and every time we give up an inch, they will take a mile. That's just how it goes. And they keep coming for those inches every single day now. So if you give up another inch, don't come crying later. Rather, step into your power now and draw a line in the sand and say, this is it, not a step further. You're not going to take anything because it's not yours to take. This is the stand we all need to take right now. And everybody needs to pull together finally the population needs to come together and go beyond these stupid divides of races and classes and income brackets and religions and all that crap that they've thrown at us to divide us, and finally unite around the human spirit and what we're truly capable of as peaceful, loving, but very, very powerful beings. And it's time that these clueless entities see our true power, and they will vanish into oblivion. I can promise you that. Once they see our true power, they will vanish into oblivion, because they don't have even the smallest percentage of what we have and hold as soulful human beings. That is the call of the day. Don't give up an inch, dear Canadians, Americans, Europeans, Africans, Asians, South Americans, everywhere, Australians in the world. Stop participating in your own enslavement. Step into your power, stand firmly, be proud, hold your head up high, chest out, and be who you were always meant to be. Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, thank you so much for joining us today. We love being in this conversation with you. Thank you for subscribing, for your comments, for everything. And we'll be back with you very, very soon.